So dear friends, welcome once again to our channel Raskalebla Reviews. In this video, let's talk about Jeep Grand Cherokee. Jeep takes a curiously small portion of the British SUV market, given that it's the world's biggest 4x4 company. Selling only a few thousand cars here per year, Jeep CEO Christian Munier refers to its 0.3% share as virtually non-existent. However, it's seeking to change that, with the super little Jeep Avenger electric crossover being followed by another all-new Jeep, albeit a more old-school one in the shape of this fifth-generation Jeep Grand Cherokee, a full-sized premium off-roader. It's 4.91 m long and 1.97 m wide, so about the same size as the Land Rover Discovery. There's an even longer 7-seat version in the US, badged the L, but the UK won't get that, so it's 5 seats only for us. The Grand Cherokee lands in the UK with only one engine option, a 2.0-liter plug-in hybrid badged 4xe. The Grand Cherokee's monocoque construction is derived from Alfa Romeo's, now Stellantis's, Giorgio platform, as used by the Alfa Romeo Giulia and Stelvio and new Maserati Grecale. Versatile things, modern car platforms. The Giulia is a small, sporting executive saloon, whereas the Grand Cherokee is a massive, air-suspended, off-road capable SUV that can tow 2.7 tons and wade through 610 mm of water. Bagsy not trying that in a Giulia. The Jeep Grand Cherokee is unashamed in its extreme Americanness. Complete with a flat-top bonnet, big chrome 7-slot Jeep grille, and slimmer headlights for a more aggressive stance, there's no mistaking the rather appealingly retro cues here. You look at it and immediately wonder what it'd look like with Wagoneer-style wood paneling. This is a good thing to our eyes. Lots of cars are getting more derivative and boring looking, and the Jeep avoids that fate by being bold, brash, and confidently American. As it should be, given Jeep's history, and the brazen looks are a chief reason why you might opt for the big Jeep over its many and varied rivals. It is big, though, 2,149 mm wide with mirrors, and you can't help but feel that it's pushing the boundaries of what's comfortable on some UK roads. Plus, it's annoying that the charge port is on the car's passenger side wing. Charging socket placement is a divisive argument, and in truth it depends on how you routinely charge as to what's best. But the front wing placement does mean that you'll probably have to drive nose first into perpendicular charging spaces or your driveway, which is generally less convenient and not as easy as just reversing in to use a charge port that's at the back of the car. The Jeep Grand Cherokee is pretty decent inside, less overtly rugged than the Land Rover Defender, less sleek than the Discovery or Range Rover, but plusher than the Toyota Land Cruiser. We're big fans of the caramel leather and pale wood of the photo car, but unfortunately that option has already been deleted from the UK options list. It looks better than it feels, though, because once you start poking around, there's a lot of gloss black plastic in places where it's likely to gather fingerprints, and you don't have to engage in any deliberate destructive testing to discover some very flimsy fittings. There is a touchscreen with the Uconnect 5 software that's also used by other ex-Fiat Chrysler brands within Stellantis, such as Maserati and the Fiat 500 Electric. It's pretty straightforward by the standards of some rivals, but that also makes it easy to use, and you still have all the features you want, including wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There are, gratifyingly, plenty of physical buttons as well. Above the screen for vehicle functions, below it for the heating and ventilation, on the center console for the driving and terrain response modes, and on the front and back of the steering wheel for various other things. There's ample space for storage as well, with a thick armrest and some deep cubbies. It's less polished than many European SUVs, but, given how so many of their controls have migrated to a touchscreen, more functional and no less appealing to live with. On the higher trims, the front passenger gets a touchscreen on the dashboard too, from which they can select audio or watch the off-roading camera feeds. Neat touch. The driving position is easy to adjust and get a comfortable, laid-back armchair-style stance thanks to the standard 16-way electrically adjustable seats, although there are some ergonomic quirks like the tiny gear paddles. This cabin is spacious, with generously sized seats front and rear and plenty of head and leg room in the second row. The 533-liter boot has a good floor space, so it'll be great for a couple of dogs or loads of paraphernalia, but it is a touch shallower than you might expect. We'll forgive Jeep for this, however, as part of the reason for this is an actual spare wheel.